Okay, so at the time of recording this, Rec Room has finally released full body avatars to all level 50s and not just some level 50s. Anybody below level 50 will still have to wait, but for right now, anybody above level 50 can finally try out full body avatars. So now that I've finally gotten to try them out for a bit, I can talk about what I think is good about them and what I think is not the best about them. So for the most part, full body avatars at its core is not that bad of an idea, really. It's something that people have really memed about since the beginning of Rec Room, but after getting my hands on it, it's not really as jarring once you get used to it, but there's still obviously things I won't like about it. The bean bodies just seem so unique to Rec Room, so having full body is just kind of not what I would have picked. But for the most part, a lot of full body is very feeling at home with Rec Room. It feels very... Some of the design choices are definitely very reminiscent of Rec Room and how the whole rounded feel of the fingers and all that kind of stuff kind of looks. Like, for the most part, it does look very Rec Room-y with their avatars, and I have to admit that. But for right now, again, they say it's in beta, and they did fix stretchy arms, but there's still plenty of jarring problems when it comes to just most of the customization options and even how full body avatars look. So for the most part, it's still very unfinished, I have to say. For the most part, my outfit looks not really as bad as most people's, I would say. At least my shirt sleeves are the right color. My gloves aren't cutting through badly, and they actually almost look normal. But I will say the watch looks kind of weird when my hand goes like through it. Like, it should be more out to the side, and they gotta fix a lot of stuff like that. Hats still can't be adjusted. A lot of sleeves don't match any of the colors of the shirts correctly, and on top of that, there are items missing, like, for example, my mirrored glasses, which I really like, and having these glasses just does not look the same. On top of that, they also don't allow you to remove ears or remove eye glint. You can remove eyebrows and noses, but I think that it looks weirder on my character having eye glint without eyebrows and noses, so I've just decided to keep them on. There's a lot they gotta work on, especially with, like, even, like, one of the weird things is when you self-scale with the maker pen. This just does not look normal at all, and I think they could easily fix this by just making you scale correctly with the maker pen, and you would just turn small. Like, you would just turn small instead of into this mesh. Or when you scale big, you just look the same size, but the maker pen looks massive, and if you're too big, you can't adjust the maker pen settings, so there's a lot of bugs with that, and there's a lot of jarring problems. Screen mode looks weird. But Rec Room's always had problems, let's be real here. But the problem is trying to fix those problems, and I think if I were being realistic here, though, I think full body avatars would have been better off still getting pushed back, and again, this just feels very unfinished. Okay, but also, the other thing I like about full body avatars is the fact that you actually hold things. I like, of course it doesn't pull down the trigger, but I like for the most part that a lot of the objects you hold, you actually hold properly. I can attest to that being a very fun idea with the fact that you actually hold things correctly. And I always want this, even like with beans. It wouldn't have worked as well with beans. It could have maybe worked, but like the fact that you actually hold things correctly is nice. It is nice. And it also fits kind of the school vibe that I've always liked with Rec Room, that I wish they would have kept more instead of moving to the whole roomy verse. And it's just, I like they properly hold stuff. But there's some stuff that, like, it's nice when it holds it correctly, and it looks really good actually, But then you grab something that's still an RO item, like a dice. And when you hold a dice, that's not how you hold a dice. Obviously, again, this is something they could fix, but like, there's sometimes just stuff that doesn't work, and that's the unfinished feel of it. The thing about full body avatars is I feel like the main thing is they feel very still in development and unfinished. So that's why that's the main problem I have with it. Until they're finished feeling, I don't think they're gonna be perfect in the game. But then I have to talk about the other problem with me about full body avatars. It's the fact that they worked on this for a very, very long time, and we're not getting, like, full body is not content. Full body avatars is a customization option for the game. It is not content that actually provides something new to make the game enjoyable. This is something that other people will see, and something that you'll see with your hands, but it doesn't change how the game plays. Because once you get used to full body avatars, which we probably will because they're not going anywhere, so we're just gonna get used to them. But it doesn't add any gameplay to it. And the problem with Rec Room right now, of why it feels so stale, is because we don't get RROs the same way that we did back in 2018 or back in the golden age of Rec Room, when they used to release a few RROs every year. But now that they're so focused on creator stuff, or stuff like full body, or other stuff we don't even know about behind the scenes, we don't really get the same content output and fun game modes that we used to get, that I think makes Rec Room fun. We don't get RROs anymore that are good. Like, Make It to Midnight was actually kind of fun. Showdown, nobody remembers. Rec Rally is probably the most emptiest RO, on top of like paddleball or something. But I just wish we would get ROs more like back in the day how they did. I wish we got more quests. I wish we got more stuff that evolved the very fun lore ideas of like who's coach, and more about like the whole school vibe of this game. And now we get like Make It to Midnight. That doesn't feel like school vibes. I mean, I guess like a clown kidnapping people, but like, I don't know, My Little Monsters just doesn't look like the RO that Rec Room needs right now for its stale content. And I feel like until we get something interesting, it's not really gonna work out. Like, they could, I still think easily, they could put Crescendo on Quest 2 and Quest 3, but they say it's not financially worth it. They don't put it on PSVR 2 because it's not financially worth it. They don't do a lot of things due to financial reasons, even though they're a very big company when it comes to the money they make. But that's for a later video. Right now, full body avatars, they're okay, but they're unfinished. And until they're finished, they're just gonna be another thing in this game that's kind of boring.